really nice day for us to get out of the way. And you always have some worries when you get to the draft, and you don't know. This year was different too. Nobody could really predict who was going to go one. So there's a lot of different scenarios. We had really prepared for the best and the worst case scenario. So we were extremely excited for Mr. Cooley. He is exactly what we need, and he's got a chance to be a number one center in the National Hockey League.
When you say he's exactly what you need, what are those qualities that you see?
Well, he's a very determined kid. He is on the puck. I think that one of his greatest attributes is just how he's got an engine. He's really a dynamic skater. He pushes the pace through the middle of the ice, and you either have to take him or he dishes the puck. He's got some ability to really be dynamic through off the rush and just the speed of him. So we're really, really excited about that fact. And I think what we also like about the Coyotes, him fitting into that identity, is just that he is relentless. Like, he has an energy bug the whole time he's out there. So, obviously there's some improvement on him. He's got to go to college and put some time in and get bigger, stronger, faster. So he's still a ways off. But in the end, we feel like he could be he has the ability to be a number one center in the National Hockey League.
Is it safe to say that the top two picks played out the way you kind of predicted?
Yeah, I did. I did kind of see some of that. There's some really good players, and obviously some guys that slid, and everybody's questioning them. And listen, they're good players. People just have them in different orders, and sometimes you take what your team needs, and we really like what we got. If you saw him on his good nights, you had him in the top five. He had some dominant performances with his size and ability and his energy and how hard he works. For a big guy, there's a little bit of inconsistencies where he's got to work on that. I think that's a maturing process where he can be good like that every single night. But he has what we love, and he's got the size, and he plays physical, and he's got the skill. For us, he's got a chance to be a second line center.
Apologies if you answered this before, but how did you draw the difference between Cooley and Wright at the end of the day?
They're different players for us, and I think that Wright's a really good player in the sense that he can shoot a puck, and he's really elite at that. Where Cooley's more of a skater and a pushing out of the pace, and he plays a little bit faster, and he's more, for me, a puck mover. He makes people better around him, where Wright's a pretty dominant shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
Bill, talk about bringing in Cassian. Was that somebody who you'd kind of been eyeballing, or did that just come up?
It just came to me, believe it or not. I was sitting there and I was thinking about how could we work with Edmonton to gain Cassian at the same time as make it a fair trade, and how could we do that? And there was a way there that I felt that we could do that. Kenny's obviously a very experienced GM. He came back with some creative ideas, and we put it together. And it's a deal that helps them relieve some salary cap, gets us a little bit of toughness, it gets us some picks, and allowed us to move up into an area that we thought we had a chance at Atlanta. So it was a great deal for both sides.
This was that idea of spreading picks multiple years out to keep the pipeline.
Yeah, and it also gives us another second rounder in 2025, and we're already building that draft, and now we have 3 second rounders. So, the goal is just to continue on that pace of building picks and going to the draft and just going at it.
I wanted to ask you about center depth. It's obviously a premium position, a critical position. I don't know how much of a focus it was, or it was just a matter of opportunity.
I've always felt that if you build through the middle of the ice, I think in St. Louis we made some strides where we went out and got Robert Thomas, and I think that was a huge impact. And then all of a sudden we got O'Reilly, and then we signed Bozak. So my thought process is that if we can build through the middle ice with Barrett Haydens of the world, the McBains of the world, the Coolies, and and also the Geekies, that's a good start for us. And centermen are hard to find.
You're such a draft nerd, for lack of a better term. How much fun was this one with so much variance happening across the board?
Well, it was extremely fun. We looked at all the scenarios. It was exhausting for us because there were so many scenarios in the first round, that because of the amount of picks that we could get to, and would other teams go. So it was probably the most strenuous draft of lining up everything and making sure that you had all your angles covered. You could move here, what team was going to move with you. So we were in town early, I think maybe a couple days too early, but we were excited about the draft. And you know, we had some fun with it. We put our blue suits on there, and you know, there's some good comic relief on the internet. But I do believe that we were the best dressed, but that's just my opinion. That's simply my opinion.
Can you tell us about these team uniforms, by the way? That
I don't like when everybody wears different colors. So if anybody has complaints, it's me. It's like we're a team, so we should look like one.
Okay. I think you're the first synchronized.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, just remember in Carolina when they did the celebrations, you know, in the middle, they used to make fun of them. Now it's culture. It's fun. You remember the Coyotes were first. They were one.
You were here during the Q's playoff to watch Lamoureux, I think.
Yes, yeah. Were you the guy that tweeted out that I was there?
No,
all right, somebody did.
It's one of my colleagues.
Yeah, we have. I call him a consultant. He's been my mentor through the process of managing Larry Plow. And Larry was a Canadian back in his day, won a Stanley Cup, and you know he saw Lamoureux and he loved him, and you know he was drawn to him, you know, and you know he's a big guy. He goes up and down in his play a little bit, and you know Larry was just on him with the rest of our scouts, Quebec League scouts. So he was. I mean, they were always talking about him and pushing him, and you know, he finished #1 at the Combine. He's an exciting guy. He's a project. It's going to take some time. When you're that big, it takes a while to kind of, you know, put all the pieces together and get going. And Parayko was the same way when we drafted him. And he reminds me a lot of Parayko.
He compares
player
himself.
from the Q that you're talking about.
That's the one player.
He compares himself to Parayko.
Yeah, he's a smart kid.
Did he have a good game? That game?
Yeah, he did. You know, sometimes when you're that big and you're raw, you have parts of your game where there's some greatness and there's some rawness on the other end. So he's an intriguing kid. He's got a great outlook on life. We did a lot of research on him. You know, and just watching him at the Combine, it reassures that he's going to be an elite skater at that size. And he's a right-handed D, and that's, last I checked, that's pretty hard to find.
He's the one who tweeted it out.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I really like that.
We've heard that he's a kid who lights up a room too with his personality.
He does.
I don't know what you call him.
He does. Yeah, he does. He's a likable kid. He's energetic. I think, you know, he's like almost naive, but in a good way. Like it's, you know, he's excited about everything, and that's what you want. You want somebody that's going to come into your organization and bring some life.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask where the suits came from.
State and Liberty. They gave us a good deal, and they gave us a good deal on them. And I'll be honest with you, and I'm not saying this because I think they probably will sponsor us after this, but they're the most comfortable suits I've ever worn in my life. I'm telling you right now. It's only getting worse for you. It's only getting worse. You got it. The NHL's good. You know, I think they're going to buy into it.
Even that lining's pretty sharp.
Oh, the lining. Hey, look.
I didn't see that. Yeah, you mind?
That's incredible.
You got that, Jacob?
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. Details, kids. Details. You're welcome.